have some fun. Yay! All right. Oh, got to turn on the mic. That's kind of important. It's like, what? All right, hey, we are here at the 2017 Filene Big Bright Minds Conference in beautiful Austin, Texas, where it's giving its best rendition of maybe Chicago in February.
Yes, I believe so.
We are here with Hope Shao from the University of Arizona, but also a Filene Research Fellow. How are you, Hope?
I am well. How are you, Jim?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Hey, we got some really interesting topics to talk about that you're talking about. First one is autonomous vehicles, and I guess kind of the credit. What's the credit union connection here? The lending of it, I guess, or what's going on?
Yeah. So the uncomfortable conversation is that most of the first relationships that people have with credit unions is through that auto lending space.
Right.
And so if we have autonomous vehicles and people are purchasing less vehicles per household and possibly even sharing, where are we going to get that milestone experience to enter the credit union?
Right.
And how are we going to replace that huge revenue stream of auto loaning? So that's the big question.
Gotcha.
I had the uncomfortable task of reminding them that that's coming.
Why is that uncomfortable?
Because we probably don't have a pivot for it yet, and it's a significant portion of the business, and again, it's the gateway to the credit union experience, and it's changing, and that big disruption is probably uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, and how quickly is it going to be here, or is it already here?
So they think about 1 in 10 cars by 2030 are going to be autonomous.
1 in 10?
Yeah,
Wow.
and if you think about it, we already have that happening now because they park themselves. So it's just sort of moving from, and you know, I've talked a little bit in the credit union space about the shared economy, and so we've seen Uber and Lyft and ride sharing, and then we've also seen the self-parking cars. So it's coming faster than we think.
Yeah, I mean, because Uber, there's reports that they already have the self-driving car. They're going to pick you up at your house, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And
it's happening in Arizona. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, we're the beta.
Oh, are you?
Tucson. Yep.
Oh, okay. Because I've heard a lot up in Silicon Valley. They're everywhere because Google's doing it, Apple's doing it, the whole, oh my gosh, Hope.
They prefer the desert, I guess. That's why all the desert places are.
Okay. Not sure why. Well, they probably don't want to drive them around in like the middle of a snowstorm or something like that.
Like
That would be weird.
rain or
That could be a little hazardous for. Let's get them wired on the dry roads before the wet roads. Got it. Okay. And so the credit union connection is like, gosh, we need to be prepared for this wave. Yeah.
We need to be prepared for this, and we need to figure out how we're going to replace that revenue stream and possibly win. You know, we have a disruption, and there's a possibility to win.
Okay.
And I think the credit unions can win. They can maximize some of that crowdfunding that we started with crowdfunding. We're out of the crowdfunding conversation right now. That might be the revenue stream that replaces it.
Okay, yeah. Interesting. Oh my God, even crowdfunding, that's a whole nother show.
Let's do it.
Exactly. Let's talk, almost on the same lines, collaborative consumption. Can you expand on this topic for us?
So we were just talking about autonomous cars, and they're probably going to be shared. But if we think about it, there's a whole lot of things right now that are shared. Right now, we don't necessarily have to have a vacation home. We can go to, Airbnb and select any home that we want in a network.
Yep.
And so there's going to be more and more of those shared experiences where the ownership is not held unilaterally with one party. So it's coming.
Okay.
To figure out how to fund that.
Yeah, because that was my next question. Okay, what's the credit union connection here? So
credit union, instead of getting that home loan for the second home, how are they going to fund this shared resource?
Okay.
And what's their place in the shared resource space?
Okay. So are timeshare people nervous about this type of stuff, I would think?
Yes. As are hotels. The hotels seem to have a pretty brisk business with all the conferences and stuff that you can't do with Airbnb. So. Well,
I mean, that brings up a really good point because I'm looking for hotels at GAC already in DC. I'm like, well, let's check out Airbnb. And oh my gosh, are there like...
millions.
Yeah, there's so many choices now. I'm like, hey, and a lot of them are much cheaper than one of the hotels in downtown DC. Obviously, they're a little pricey. But wow, the choices we have now are amazing, and people are like kind of giving up their condos or their homes or whatever for folks like us coming in for business. So
yeah, so I mean it's a disruption for the hotels, except that they have the conference space to sort of maximize, and that's what they've been doing. But for credit unions, how are we going to fund? What kind of financial instruments are we going to offer to support this shared economy?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so many cool, interesting topics. Hope, I mean, your job must be so much fun because it's something different every day, I would think.
It is super fun. I have the best job on the planet.
Congratulations. All right, hey, general consumer behavior topics. Are there any specific ones you want to talk about?
So I do have the opportunity to work with the Center of Excellence on Consumer Decision Making, and one thing that we've been working on is trying to look at how generations communicate about financial services and tap into those metaphors. So we did some stuff with millennials, but also we're working with how can we message to baby boomers? How can we message better to the Gen Z that's
I know,
coming?
we're already talking Gen Z.
No, it's here. And they're having different conversations, and they have different understanding of ownership. So this disruption with the cars may not really fit them. You know, it may not fit them because they've not owned a car yet.
Right.
They've shared rides from the onset of their mobility, so we don't really know.
Yeah, they'll be the first generation not to own a car.
Right.
You're just going to you just use one, whatever's around.
And imagine all the people who personalize their cars. So like I have a Mini Cooper that I named Stella, and she has eyelashes. And that's really part of my identity, but that's going to go away, and I'm just going to take Uber number 5 or autonomous vehicle 12 will come pick me up. It's going to be a different understanding of who we are as consumers.
Yeah, I mean, how does that affect us personality-wise and all? Oh, that's, wow, another interesting topic.
Very worried about, masculine identity, because it's a lot wrapped up in the car, as is mine.
Poor Stella. Poor Stella.
I know.
I think Stella will be around for a while.
So
there's a good
cute.
part. The eyelashes. I love it. Are there any other topics that you want to address? Because this one's super interesting. So.
I think we need to rethink how we do consumer segmentation in general. We kind of divide people by age, but we really need to divide them more by behaviors, and we have so much big data in order to do that. So I think it's going to charge us with making better choices about consumer segmentation.
Yeah. Data's changing everything. You can't swing a cat without hitting somebody
Great
talking about
job.
data.
I have the best job because everybody wants me.
Yeah.
So I know about data.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So I want to wrap up here because I know you got a lot to do here. What's the outlook for 2018? Obviously, 2017 was another good year for credit unions. What do you see based on your studies and research for credit unions in 2018?
Well, I believe in the credit union mission, but I think that we need to get that mission to the people, and this is the time where they are going to want to hear it.
Yeah.
I think it's just upward potential.
Yeah, you just echoed what Chuck Purvis just said.
Excellent.
About messaging. So
I didn't
you're
even know
right.
it. I didn't even know it. That's awesome.
On the same wavelength. Nice. Hope, thank you so much for hanging out with us a little bit. I mean, congratulations on having the greatest job on the planet. Well done.
Thank you for helping me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Hope Show, everybody. Well done. Good job.
See you.
Excellent. Yay. So how